I'm with Laura Walker-Andrews, a counselor here at Blue Ridge Community College. Laura, what's your role?
My role in student services is to serve as the counselor for business and service careers, as well as to be the primary contact for mental health and crisis counseling for students.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Any of the 3 counselors on staff can provide students with resources, whether it be on campus or in the community, to access mental health supports. If students are looking for a short-term counseling option, they would need to contact me to schedule an appointment, and they can do that by giving me a call or sending an email. And they can find that information on My Blue Ridge, or they can go onto our website under Services and Support and locate our contact information under Counseling Services. They can also come into student services if they're on campus and sign in to meet with one of us.
And you all also provide career support as well, counseling to help students decide what to major in and what to do for a living?
Yes. So all 3 counselors are well versed in academic and career counseling, and we separate all of Blue Ridge's programs by the department that they're in. So I'm the primary contact for business and service careers. Kirsten Hobbs is our counselor for arts and sciences, and Wes Fight is our advanced technologies and healthcare counselor. So any of the 3 of us, we support students in those program areas by providing academic and career counseling.
And what if you're a student at the Transylvania County campus?
That tends to work the same way. Where those students can contact that counselor. There's also a student services coordinator, Rhodes, who is on site in Brevard.
Tell me about your role working with disabilities. Who can access that, and how would it benefit students?
Students who are coming out of high school who had an IEP or a 504 plan, they may want to have accommodations here at Blue Ridge, so we would encourage them to get in contact with me in order to secure that process while they're taking classes here.
What's an example of a classroom accommodation?
So an example of a classroom accommodation would be extended time on quizzes and tests. So we see a lot of students that have processing issues, or maybe things don't come very easy. They may have anxiety that they experience during a testing environment, and that accommodation is a way that we can provide them with a little extra time so that they're able to take the amount of time that they need in order to process or calm down while they're taking the test.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned test anxiety, because that seems like a really common problem among students. There's a lot of pressure with testing, and that usually can really inhibit a student from doing well.
Students who may have been out of school for a while, we tend to have a conversation about what that disability might look like and what providers they're seeing now, so that we can get up-to-date information about what accommodations will work for them.
What advice would you give a first semester student at Blue Ridge?
First semester students should really take advantage of the ACA class and the resources that are presented, just to make sure that they are in the correct program that's a right fit for them. And we have lots of resources in student services. I referenced Kirsten Hobbs earlier, who's our transfer coordinator. So students who plan to transfer to a 4-year, the sooner they know where they're headed, they can get more information about what that transfer might look like, along with whether they might need a certification for nursing, for example. So having as much information as possible so that they can take full advantage of the rest of their time here at Blue Ridge.
think some students may be uncomfortable reaching out to a counselor for support or help. What advice would you give them?
I would say that we see students all the time, regardless of age or what program. We hear how hesitant students can be to reach out, and we often hear apologies even from students who reach out. And I want to assure students that, there's no situation they're bringing to us that we haven't heard before or haven't worked with, and we're happy to be a support to them.
And I assume a meeting with a counselor is confidential, right?
Yes. So if we are meeting about a confidential situation, that stays with the counselor you're meeting with. And we tend to try to hook students up with resources so that they're better able to handle things once they leave.
Can a student on the Henderson County campus just drop in to see a counselor, or do they need to have an appointment?
They can drop in. We take walk-ins and are open later during the week in order to allow for students who may be at work or have a late class. If you are coming for a counseling appointment that's specific to personal or crisis counseling, I would suggest an appointment just so that we can make sure the right person is there for them to meet with.
Where can students go on the Blue Ridge website to find out more information about counseling services?
Students can go to blueridge.edu, and the tabs at the top, there is one labeled Services and Support. They will go there and select Counseling Services, which will take them to our counseling page. It has the programs that the counselors are responsible for and their contact information for both Henderson County and Transylvania County campuses.